At the light, turn right onto Elm Avenue, then turn left onto City Park Drive.
Yeah. See if I don't think there's anything top.
You'll see the rocks on the way back, guys. There's nothing left on this side.
Hello.
Board.
What's wrong with you? Are you still videoing?
I want a bit of pecan. this here is Miners Castle, also sometimes referred to as Castle Rock. You can see where the Park Service have erected a few observation platforms up on the cliff. They also built a pretty nice park up there, complete with barbecue pits, picnic tables, and a facilities building, along with a Claymore outlet store. Plug it out here, you take H58 east out of Munising, all the roadsides, Miners Castle, take you to the parking lot on top of the cliff. This beach area through here is known as Miners Beach. You take the same road that you take to get out to Miners Castle, they'll take you to the beach. Or the beach ends, so does the road. If you want to see any more of the pictured rocks by land, you're going to have to hike. And hike we can. There's a lakeshore trail that exists from Munising all the way to the small village of Grand Moraine. Some 42 miles. Not exactly a day hike. through this area. Well, Victor Rocks does normally receive one major cave-in from year to year. That's caused by the frost action. The water inside the cliff typically freeze through the winter, expand and act like a wedge. The pops off the softer layers of rock. Seals until the edge of cave-ins by what remains from the water. Receive large piles of sand, it's a relatively newer cave-in. Where there's only large boulders left behind, it's a relatively older cave-in. That's because a lot of the 20-foot waves that come crashing up into the cliffs through here will wash away a lot of that sand. This cave-in that we're coming up on, around our 1 o'clock position, it's about a 200-foot long stretch. It's actually a really rare cave-in here, just because this one only came down 2 summers ago. And these normally happen in the springtime, and they're rarely ever caught on video. However, this one was caught on video by a group of pontooners that were out where the boat is right now. There were a couple of kayaks near the cliff. Thankfully, nobody was underneath it. If you ever want to find that video, you can just look it up on Google or YouTube. Just type in Victor Rocks cave-in. You'll probably find a couple cave-ins that happen here, but this one specifically is the most interesting. Back in the year 1940, that's when the large ore carrier out of the Sparta ran aground through here. They say that the Sparta ran so far aground, the crew members could get off the boat without getting their feet wet. If you ask any of the backpackers or hikers who go along this beach, they'll let you know that there's not a single mosquito on this beach. Yeah, they're all married with children on the way. Caves are coming up on it are good examples of that wave action that carves out the soft thin layer of rock you can see through the center of them. They're known as the caves of all colors. They kind of look more like a cave of some color. Definitely don't see any blues and greens through there. Well, you can see some little bushes on top of the cliff, but those actually aren't bushes. They're stunted trees. They're just as old as the trees off to the left of them. In the winter, there'll be 4 or 5 feet of ice up there. Almost like an ice palace. If you look down the shoreline, you can see an archway. That's known as Lover's Leap. If you look at the cutout of Lover's Leap, it kind of looks like a heart laying on its side. I wouldn't recommend to jump off of Lover's Leap though. I don't care how much you think you're in love. Water depth beneath the archway is only 2 feet. It makes for a very short love story. cliff here, you can see a lot of twisted and broken up trees. Well, the Park Service believes that this last November a tornado ripped through here. It goes in for about 3 miles. All year long. So in the wintertime, it creates huge, colorful icicles. Before Pictured Rocks does normally receive one major cave-in from year to year. This cave-in off to our right is our newest one. It came down 12 weeks ago. It's probably one of the largest cave-ins we've had in the last 50 years. This point here is one of our more famous ones. It's known as Indian Head Rock. And you can probably already see why the local Native Americans who once canoed through here were quite frightened of his presence. Itchy Manitou, they used to call him, or the Great Spirit. The way I see Indian Head, that point out there is his nose. Has a chin at water level, his forehead arches back to the trees. He's even got a jawline and a left ear hanging off that right hand side. You could probably pick out where his eye would be, kind of that yellowish color. And some people tell us it looks a lot like the Chicago Blackhawks logo. But I wouldn't know because I wouldn't waste my time watching the Chicago Blackhawks. waterway is known as Grand Portal. Grand Portal is the tallest rock formation along the pictured rock splits at 208 feet high. And back before 25 years ago, you used to be able to take a small boat through the archway. But that's caved in quite a bit since then, and every year it seems to get a little bit taller. There used to be 6 acres of caves and caverns that stuck out to where the boat is now. All that came crashing down in 1902. This rock formation here at our soon to be 3 o'clock position is known as the broken flower base. You can picture the trees and the flowers and the rock as a base. Kind of has a narrow waist or stem with a flared bottom. I think some people tell us this looks a lot like the Stanley Cup. These next 2 formations are known as the Indian drums. Kind of look like elephant's feet or bear's legs. They say when a 20-foot high wave comes crashing into here, it sounds a lot like thunder. Through here is known as Chapel Beach. Chapel Beach is a favorite spot for those backpackers to come out of camp. And when they're out here, they feel like they're millions of miles away from everyone. So often they'll take off all their clothes and run up and down this beach naked. It's disgusting. We'll come around the corner with a boat full of people and surprise everyone. Not all you passengers seem to mind too much. We even had one gentleman come up and tell us, well, that was the only wildlife I saw my entire vacation. Well, this stream through here is known as Lower Chapel Falls. You can follow it up to Chapel Lake. Chapel Lake is completely rock-bound with cliffs similar to the pictured rocks. And this point here is known as Chapel Rock. It's about 65 feet in height. No doubt you can see that lone white pine tree on top of Chapel Rock. Well, there's not enough soil up there for that tree to survive. The only way it gets its water and nutrients are from the roots that hang over to the mainland. You can see those roots quite clearly hang off the left-hand side. Used to be a stone archway supporting those roots that came crashing down over 60 years ago, yet the tree lives on. The cliffs do extend for about another 3 miles in the distance, where it turns into 12-mile beach. And that farthest point you can see out there is known as Au Point, and around there is the small village of Grand Marais. If you ever find yourself in Grand Marais, be sure to not miss the sand dunes that are over there. They extend some 300 feet above this lake. Now we are going to be taking the same route that we did on the way out. In some spots, traffic permitting, I'll try to get you in a little bit closer. If you have any questions, feel free to bring them on up to any one of us, or stop us in the aisleways when we're walking around. We'll be happy to answer your questions. I won't be talking nearly as much as I did on the way out, so just sit back and enjoy the ride. They're Mackenzie's favorite bird. And if you keep a close eye out, you might be able to spot an eagle or two along the cliffside. There's also some peregrine falcons that frequent the area. Those are the fastest birds in the entire entire world clocked at over 200 miles per hour as they dive.
Look kind of close, doesn't it?